Bony, and totally weird. Gavin's hands. It's time for Gavin's hands.
The notion of agency, that we're not bystanders in the world. It's decisions, not conditions, that determine our fate and future. And that fundamental notion of agency, I think, is important more broadly. And I think that goes to some of the issues around, victimization. And I see a lot of that, respectively, on the right, increasingly, even with Trump often approaching things from that sort of.
Gavin Newsom walks in like California's own James Bond, smooth, fearless, and shining, like he's auditioning for a cologne commercial. He moves like the spotlight owes him rent. But then Tyrus steps forward, a giant with the calm of a storm and the punch of pure truth when he speaks. The room stops breathing. This isn't commentary, it's demolition. And what's coming next isn't debate, it's detonation.
Tyrus.
What I saw,
Yeah.
what it looked to me like he was negotiating with a deaf prostitute.
With a myriad of issues. I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor down in Hawaii, who had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties, and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those in a matter of days, not just.
California glitters like the dream America keeps selling, sun-drenched mornings, ocean breeze nights, stars on rooftops, and influencers sipping kale like it's gold. But scratch the surface and that sparkle turns stormy. The Golden State starts looking less like heaven and more like a headline in a wild Netflix doc gone off the rails.
Back and watch the tape.
Yes!
He literally goes, I want some of this, then you do some of this, and I'll do some of that back to you, and then we'll do this, and then I'll pay you, and then we'll do it again.
True.
And then she kept saying, no. Okay, how about this? You do this one first, then we do this one, then we give a little back and forth.
If you're loving this takedown, smash that subscribe button. It helps more than you know. The streets look straight out of Mad Max. Taxes hit like a heavyweight right hook, and Californians are sprinting for the border like it's the finals of the Olympics. And there he stands in the wreckage. Gavin Newsom, hair, flawless, suit, spotless smile, unshaken like the chaos around him is just set design for his next glossy magazine cover.
Tyrus, did he leave out anything? I think there's about 100 other reasons too.
Well, you can't, it's not his words when he speaks.
Yeah.
You have to watch him closely. And some genius decided not to film him any lower than the shoulder.
Yes, did you? Yes.
So what did he do?
You couldn't see the hands.
No, but he sent Morris.
He talks like he's headlining a Hollywood blockbuster. Every line, rehearsed, every pause, dramatic, every grin, screaming, trust me, I've got this. But here's the plot twist. While Newsom plays California's leading man, the whole movie's turned into one giant blooper reel. Homelessness keeps skyrocketing. Businesses are bolting like it's an evacuation drill, and everyday people are left asking, why? They're paying Beverly Hills prices to live inside what feels like the next Gotham sequel.
I'll be in the car.
Yes, I think
you're good.
you've done enough this evening. You can take the rest of the week off.
Thank you.
Charlie, I don't
We've
know
all
if you-
been there, right?
Yes, we have. Yeah, it's noisy in the
Sorry,
city.
every time I look, I just see him going. I'm sorry.
You know, another option it could be, because he's doing the whole rebrand with the podcast and he's trying to.
Then comes Tyrus, and that's when the show really starts. He's not here for spin or sound bites. He's the guy who swings truth like a sledgehammer. Where Newsom shines his shoes, Tyrus scuffs the floor with facts. Picture it. Newsom strutting into the spotlight, hair rolling like it's got its own lighting crew, bragging about California's golden dream. While behind him, San Francisco and Los Angeles crumble into open-air experiments and chaos. Tyrus doesn't polish it. He cuts straight through the rap. Fantasy. How can the so-called paradise of America look like a live-action zombie flick? Newsom promised a golden state, but what he built looks more like the opening scene of The Walking Dead.
Or
Yeah.
he's negotiating with a deaf prostitute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's just stick with that.
Yeah.
More likely.
Yeah.
Maybe you can fix California while you stop by. 2 shows, you should be able to do that.
Hey, you know what? Real funny. So the other night, I got like 3 weeks ago. Time flies when you work. I get a text at 2 o'clock in the morning from the president who says, "Hey, bro, I just filled California up with water. Governor's pissed," and sent pictures. LOL post. Who doesn't love this president?
Let's talk business. Because once upon a time, California was the crown jewel of the American dream. Silicon Valley, Hollywood, Napa Valley. This was the land of ambition and sunshine. But under Newsom's watch, that shine turned to rust. Companies are bailing. Faster than contestants finding out The Bachelor still lives with his mom. Headquarters gone, jobs gone, and where are they heading? Texas, Florida, even Nevada. Imagine choosing desert heat over California taxes. That says it all, and who dares to say it? Out loud. Tyrus, of course. He looks at the great California escape and drops the truth bomb. If people are running from paradise, maybe it's not paradise anymore. Remember when Newsom told everyone to stay home, mask up, and make sacrifices for the greater good? Regular Californians were rationing toilet paper, cutting their own hair, and mourning on Zoom while Newsom was sipping wine under golden chandeliers with lobbyists like he just landed the lead in The Great Gatsby.
Back and watch it. Look at the blinking. Blink. Look. Meet me at the house. Like, he's blinking. He's sending. I'm getting there. Hey, just so you know, I'm not wearing pants.
Ew.
And then, look, he's blinking. And then eventually, the camera guy realizing that he's signaling him, so he gets appalled, leans back, camera comes down, and then we're back to this. I'll do this for you. You do this for me a little. So he's saying whatever he's going to say. There it is. See? They couldn't hold him back. He's like, I'm not on film. Oh, I'm not. Nope.
That dinner became the crown jewel of hypocrisy rules for the people, perks for the king. And Tyrus doesn't just bring it up, he paints it like a movie scene. You can almost hear the silverware clinking while regular Californians were eating cold pizza. In sweatpants, Newsom was sipping fine wine under chandeliers, preaching, "We're all in this together." It's the kind of irony you can't script, and Tyrus milks it with perfect precision. No polls, no sound bites, just brutal truth. He lays it bare. Homelessness exploding, crime climbing, gas prices crushing families. California doesn't feel like the dream anymore. It feels like the bill after the party. And people listen, because he doesn't talk in numbers. He talks in reality, not spin, not slogans. Just truth, wrapped in humor, grit, and that unmistakable Tyrus punch.
Well, speaking of full of isn't it? I'm sorry, I'm confused. He's still governor, right?
Yes.
So he could do something about it. That's the most irritating thing, is like, why did anyone say with a follow-up where he's like, the homeless situation is ridiculous? Follow-up question, aren't you governor?
Yeah.
Like, that's the difference. That's the difference between the radical left and President Trump. He'll talk about something as...
The fallout was pure gold. Everyday people nodded like finally someone said what we've all been screaming inside. And on the other side, the critics panicked, spinning excuses, defending Newsom, or brun people were more than followers of sleeping in the desert. The punchline, when the guy famous for body slams makes more sense than the man running the biggest state in America, that says everything. Tyrus doesn't bring charts or buzzwords. He just points at the chaos and says what everyone already knows: this isn't working. Newsom keeps selling California as the land of progress, the shining model for the nation. But step one, block off Rodeo Drive, and the dream collapses. The road's cracked, the glow's gone, and the future looks like it's being held together with duct tape, desperation, and denial.
He's playing with us. Meet me at my house. You get mine. I get yours. It'll work out.
Paul, are they capable of soul searching? It feels like the party itself has no soul.
Yeah, I know, they have no soul. You know, it's a really interesting statement if you just kind of, you can break it in two. He spends the whole first part of that saying, we lost because this. Essentially what he says is, folks, we were on the wrong side of everything.
Tyrus slices through the California fantasy like a hot knife through butter. He's not fooled by the slow-motion drone shots or the perfect sunset reels. He looks straight at what they hide. The tent cities under every bridge, the shops boarded up, and buried under taxes. The families choosing between paying rent or calling a sidewalk home and pretending it's camping deluxe. And here's the punchline. If chaos were an Olympic sport, California would have gold medals stacked to the ceiling. And right at the center of it all stands Newsom, the poster boy of polished hypocrisy. It's one thing to lead through crisis, it's another to strut like a superstar while sneaking off to fine dining when your people can't even grab a coffee without a rule book.
He's going to go up and say, listen, I'm going to sign an executive order to stop homelessness, and here's how we're going to do it. Bam, 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 done. The border, done. 5 days later, 99%, no one's crossed. They're standing at the border like, you go. No, that you go. Like, no one wants.
That fancy dinner wasn't just a slip-up. It was a full-blown performance in arrogance. While Californians were told to cancel weddings, skip funerals, and eat Thanksgiving alone, Newsom was out there savoring truffle pasta under crystal chandeliers like... The rules came with a VIP exception. Tyrus never lets that one die. He brings it up like Exhibit A, the classic rules for thee, not for me moment. People remember getting fined for breaking restrictions their own governor laughed off. And that kind of hypocrisy doesn't just annoy, it burns. Tyrus doesn't exaggerate. He paints it so vividly, you can almost hear the laughter bouncing off the chandeliers, while everyone else was stuck at home burning their sourdough. This wasn't just tone deaf, it was a slap in the face to the very people he's supposed to lead.
Gavin, I know him very well. He's incompetent. He's a nice guy, looks good. Hi, everybody, how you doing? He's got some strange hand action going. I don't know what the hell his problem is. It's a little weird, to be honest. There's a little something shaky going on there.
I came into that recall campaign still arguing that all politics is local. I still had a romantic notion of that. I intellectualized that a lot of our politics and the discourse was national. I didn't fully appreciate how nationalized our politics have become. In so many ways, that shape-shifted a lot of what we're doing and who I am today. But this last year, these last 6-7 months, this is something altogether different.
That's what makes Tyrus hit different. He's not out here screaming or preaching. He's cracking jokes that make people laugh and nod, because when reality gets this absurd, sometimes laughter is the only way to stay sane. But every punchline he drops lands with truth. California's chaos isn't just headlines, it's real life. Crime so bad, parents are scared to let their kids walk home. Gas prices so brutal, a road trip feels like paying rent. Homeless camps spreading through neighborhoods that once felt safe. That's the real punch, not stats, not speeches. Just people struggling while politicians pose for cameras. Tyrus doesn't hide behind big words or polished scripts. He just says what everyone's thinking, loud, clear, and fearless.
Yeah, his hands are just weird, though, Tyrus. They're always doing funky things.
Yeah, I thought it had something to do with the California budget cuts and stuff, since they didn't have a hearing impaired transitioner anymore. I'm not paying money for that. I'll do it myself.
Tyrus keeps it real, reminding everyone that California is still stunning, still full of promise, but somehow can't even keep the lights on when it gets hot, the so-called 5th largest economy in the world, yet families are packing up for Arizona just to buy groceries without taking out a loan. And that's why his words hit so hard. He talks like the guy at the gas pump, shaking his head at sky-high prices, mumbling about the governor's next big stunt, because he's not pretending, he's living it. Like everyone else, when Tyrus speaks, Californians don't just listen, they feel seen. He doesn't dance around the disaster. He points straight at it, laughs, and says what everyone's been afraid to admit. Maybe it's time to stop calling California the model. Maybe it's time to admit the dream turned into a headline. And maybe, just maybe, it's time for leaders who fix the mess instead of posing in front of it.
So,
A little bit of bubble.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if you were the sign person for the TV going,
No, he reminds me there of, remember the guy who did the sign language at Mandela's funeral?
That's why when Tyrus calls it out, it hits like a sledgehammer. It's not politics, it's pure reality. No filters, no scripts, just brutal honesty with a sting that leaves a mark. He reminds everyone that no matter how much spin you throw out, people can still see the truth with their own eyes. Yeah, the beaches are still beautiful, but you've got to walk past tent cities to reach them. California still sparkles, but the shine is fading under the weight of taxes, crime, and chaos. And thanks to Tyrus, those cracks can't be hidden anymore. He proves that real leadership isn't about perfect hair or photo ops, it's about owning the mess and fixing it. But under Newsom, California isn't being led, it's just coasting on vibes and slogans. The saddest part, nobody's even surprised anymore. The scandals, the hypocrisy, the broken promises, it's all just another normal day in the so-called Golden State.
I was in the White House, this is one of the first things I would do. Clean up your streets. Instead of sending our military men and women out to other places to make other countries safe, make our streets safe. How is this an argument? If you don't like it, what's not to like? Other than that you have to tip your hat to the orange devil. That's the problem. Then you know what? Find a way, like, make it your own. Like, no, you will not bring in 1,500 National Guards. We will only allow 1,200. And then call it a victory. Clean up your neighborhoods. Leave the politicians out to go out on the waterfront at 6 o'clock in the morning. But notice he wasn't filming himself.
When Tyrus unloads, the whole illusion collapses in real time. The jokes make the truth easier to swallow, but the sting doesn't fade. It sticks because behind every laugh is a gut punch of reality. And here's where it gets wild. If Tyrus can tear down Newsom's polished image with just a few words, what happens when others start doing the same? What happens when the Hollywood gloss fades and all that's left are empty storefronts, broken promises, and leaders more obsessed with photo ops than people? California might still sparkle on Instagram, but Tyrus ripped off the filter and now the raw, unedited version is staring everyone in the face. Once the illusion's gone, no speech can fix it. Californians aren't buying the dream anymore. They're living the nightmare. Every single day, Tyrus just says what everyone's been too afraid to admit. The dream's cracked, the mask is slipping, and the truth is finally out. His honesty cuts deeper than any campaign slogan, because it's real. And if one voice can shake the golden image this hard, imagine what happens when more start speaking up. The cracks spread, the shine fades, and California stops being the dream. It starts being the warning. Tyrus didn't cause the chaos, he just pulled the curtain and showed what's been hiding there all along.
Well, speaking of full of isn't it, I'm sorry, I'm confused. He's still governor, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he could do something about it. That's the most irritating thing, is that why did anyone say with a follow-up where he's like, the homeless situation is ridiculous? Follow-up question, aren't you governor?
Yeah.
Like, that's the difference. That's the difference between the radical left and President Trump. He'll talk about something as it's.
Here's where it all lands. The illusion's gone, the shine's cracked, and the truth is standing wide open in daylight. Tyrus didn't rewrite California's story, he just read it out loud, page by page, in a way no politician ever dared. His mix of humor and consent, hard truth slices right through the noise, forcing everyone to face what's been ignored for years. Newsom can't charm his way out this time. The photo ops, the polished grin, the perfect headlines, they all crumble under the weight of reality. Because people finally see it for what it is, a performance hiding a broken script. And that's where Tyrus wins. He doesn't need to scream, he just says what's real, and somehow it echoes louder than any campaign speech. The crowd laughs, sure, but underneath every laugh is a sting of truth. California still calls itself the Golden State, but the gold's worn off and now the cracks are shining brighter than the polish. Tyrus didn't just roast a governor, he exposed a system running on fumes. And once you see that truth, you can't unsee it. The lights are dim, the curtain's down, and what's left on stage isn't glamour, it's the raw, unfiltered reality.